NRIs themselves contribute 15 lakh crores in the Indian economy.
We have an expert today with us, Susheedha, who manages close to 500 crores of NRI investments.
As per the banking laws implemented by the RBI, it is simple that when you become a non-resident Indian, then you should not access your resident savings account. NRO account is meant for your India-related fund. If you are earning anything in abroad, which you want fluidity in between India and your country of residence. So in that case, NRE account is the one.
NRIs are Einstein. You know why they're Einstein? It's multi-country, multi-currency, and multi-tax scenario that they live with. So actually, NRI is equal to MC square for me.
Their parents want to transfer the fund, they can do directly to NRE also. But there will be a TCS collection of 20%. Like you or I, we have the option to extend our PPF account for another 5 years or another 10 years. Okay. But NRIs are not allowed to.
This exemption we talk about in India, right? Not in their
India.
resident country.
If you are investing from the NRE account, you can freely repatriate this money to your overseas account. It won't be right for an NRI to keep investing from the resident Demat account. Because there are legal obligations and there can be penalties. There is a law and agreement which is called DTAA.
NRIs are investing money into India more than ever. Last year, $135 billion were sent by NRIs to India, with about $35 billion in deposits and investments. We thought there are a lot of challenges that an NRIs face while investing in India. And we have an expert today with us, Susheedha, who manages close to 500 crores of NRI investments. Hey, Susheedha.
Hey, Mudit.
So, we would quickly start with our session on various topics which would cover banking, taxation, and investments for NRIs while they invest into India. So, without much ado, we'll start with the first question. Shoot it to you. So, what do you think? What's the difference between NRE and NRO? We get this question a lot. So please give us a crisp answer to it.
So, Mudit, it's very simple. Once an Indian gets converted to a non-resident Indian, which happens when they leave India and they stay in abroad in a country for greater than 182 days, then they are called and referred as a non-resident Indian. So, as per the banking laws implemented by the RBI, it is simple that when you become a non-resident Indian, then you should not access your resident savings account. So, in that case, does that mean it connects all your relation from India? The answer is no. You can do whatever you were doing in terms of transactions, but you require specific accounts for that. Now, those accounts are termed as NRI account, and these are of two types. So, one is the non-resident ordinary account, which is called as NRO, and non-resident external account, which is NRE. The basic difference is NRO account is meant for your India related fund. So, let's say any NRI who is getting a rental income, they had some funds invested in the Indian market. So, they can park these money into the NRO account. That's what it is for. But at the same time, parallel to it, if you are earning anything in abroad, which you want fluidity in between India and your country of residence. So in that case, NRE account is the one.
So you mean if an NRI basically wants to uh, invest into India, considering their foreign income in his mindset, NRE is the right way to go.
Absolutely.
And if he wants to keep that money in India, then NRO probably is a better way.
Yeah,
This is correct.
yeah, that's the right way. If you want the money to be fluidic to invest in India, then the best account would be NRE.
Sure.
Simple, use NRE account. There are some assets which only support NRO. Yeah, that's an exception. But be clear, if you don't want to get into the repatriation thing, then NRE is the best for you.
Sure. Repatriation is whenever an NRI wants to take money back
Correct.
to his home country.
Right.
Sure. Okay. Now that we have an understanding of NRE and NRO, what is the most preferred account by NRIs if they have both the accounts? And should they open both the accounts at once or should they only open one account?
See, this is about the process. The process, like if you open an NRE versus you open an NRO, the process is the same. For your convenience, if you are making anything in India, or if you want to transfer some funds from India to your NRE account, then an NRO would be required. Otherwise, you would be paying additional TCS, tax collection at source. So, to avoid it, if I have to answer you simply, I would recommend open both accounts at once. Go for any bank and open your NRO as well as NRE account, so that you don't have to repeat the process again and again. Not sure, because I coordinate with a lot of NRIs, and most likely not today, then tomorrow, they have certain reasons to access Indian funds.
Sure.
Like sale of property, any of these getting mature.
Inheritance property.
PPF, yeah, definitely. So for that, they require an NRO account.
So you mean if family has to transfer money to the NRI's account, it is better to have NRO account, and that is a, to open both the accounts. It's better.
Of course, I would always recommend an NRI to have NRO as well as NRE account, because if their parents want to transfer the fund, they can do directly to NRE also. But there will be a TCS collection of 20%. So we can easily avoid it if they have an NRO.
Sure. Another very important question that we hear from NRIs is, can they invest in SSY, Sukanya Samridhi Yojana, and how should they think about it?
Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, this is essentially for their girl child. They are not actually allowed once they become a non-resident Indian. They cannot open one. But in case if someone had opened a Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana account in their resident Indian period as a resident Indian, then they are allowed to invest in the same until the girl child is a resident Indian. As simple as that.
Okay.
So, to make it simple, they cannot make new investments in that. But if they have had an older one, they can continue if the girl child is still a resident Indian.
They can continue, meaning they can't put more money?
They can continue to contribute in the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana.
Okay, they can contribute.
can,
and
from
if
the NRO account.
if the girl child becomes an NRI, then
they are
what?
not allowed. They have to inform it to the authorities.
Yeah.
Now they are a non-resident Indian,
Right.
and whatever they had invested can continue to grow, but they won't be allowed to make new investments or keep contributing in the same.
Sure. And what about, let's say, at a point, after a point, and they would want to take that money back?
So
Let's say.
the girl has to attain the maturity age, which is 20 years of age.
Sure.
Post that, they are allowed. Or if there is any emergency condition or for the education of the same girl, then in that case, this is on a conditional basis.
And they have to
are
prove
allowed
it.
to hold. Yeah.
Sure.
But remember, these funds can only go to the NRO account.
Sure.
And then it can be
That
shared.
is why you said that both the accounts are required. Another very important question about PPF accounts. So, what about the PPF accounts? Can they continue? Can they not once they become NRI? And how? And same question like SSY. What is the process to shutting it and taking the money there?
So, Mudit, it is similar to the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. If someone have had opened a PPF account as a resident Indian, they are contributing or they were contributing, they are still allowed to keep contributing as a NRI also using their NRO account.
Okay, they can still put more money.
They can do.
Okay.
Now, there is a thing called extension.
Sure.
So, like you or I, we have the option to extend our PPF account for another 5 years or another 10 years. Okay. But NRIs are not allowed to do that.
Sure.
Right?
They're not allowed extension.
They are not.
And they can keep contributing to the money till the time the maturity is there. Is this
True,
correct? Which is,
true.
I think, 15 years.
Yeah.
Right? Right.
They cannot open a new PPF account
Sure.
as an NRI, but they can continue to contribute.
Via NRO. Investing in India from NRE is actually completely tax exempt.
It's a myth, Mudit.
Oh, no, but a lot of people were telling like tax free interest and everything. So it's tax exempt, right?
So the scenario is slightly different
Okay.
than what people imagine.
Okay.
So in case of NRIs, I often hear that NRE is tax exempted.
Yeah.
NRE is tax exempted only for interest income,
Okay.
which is fixed deposit and savings interest.
Okay.
So typically an NRI earns.
But this exemption we talk about in India, right? Not in their
India,
resident country.
In their resident country, depending on what is the tax laws in their country, it may be taxable in their country, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is not tax exempted for other asset classes.
Sure.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So if someone is investing into stock, someone is investing into mutual fund as an NRI from the NRE account also.
Yeah.
when they redeem the funds, when they are selling the schemes, there is a TDS deduction, tax deduction at source that is happening. Only post that they are getting the final amount.
Okay.
So it's not tax exempt.
Can funds be credited back in NRE on redemption? This is surprisingly, this is a question that is asked a lot.
I have heard this question like hundreds of times. So normally when NRIs they Google whether they can take money in NRE or not.
Yeah.
So it shows that NRE is for foreign investments.
Okay.
So whatever you are earning, you can put it into NRE account.
Yeah.
That's how they have structurized it.
Sure.
But in terms of regulated product like mutual fund or stock, if you are investing from an account which is NRE, so the source account is NRE.
Sure.
Now, as per the SEBI norms, if an investment is made from X source account,
Okay.
then the redemption will go into the same.
Sure.
So there is no process for repatriation or no certifications like Form A2 or 15 CACB
Okay.
is required for this. If you are investing from the NRE account, you can freely repatriate this money to your overseas account from NRE to overseas and from overseas. Very simple.
But that means that anything that they're investing, that will come back to that same account, is what you're saying. Correct. Thank you for giving us an oversight on how do an NRI think about various accounts, how do they manage it from a tax perspective, and how various accounts that they had started while they were a resident, how can they manage that also. Another question that comes in with a lot of NRIs is, what if their home loan is running on the resident account and they become NRI? Do they, lot of NRIs basically think that if they convert it from resident to non-resident, would their home loan be also transferred? And if not, then what would happen? Because that is something that is, as an EMI, it is going on. So that hesitation or that query is there.
Home loan is a debt.
Okay.
Whenever you have taken a debt from India or you have taken a debt in India for home loan or car loan, and now your residential status is changing. So there is a e-mandate which already was done from your resident Indian savings account.
Right.
Now your status has changed and legally you are not allowed to hold the resident savings account. Therefore, what should be the next step is you simply convert the same account, the resident savings account, as a non-resident ordinary account. You can do that simply by calling the bank manager. They will ask you for a couple of documents like your overseas address proof and your visa, and they will convert it to a non-resident ordinary account. Everything else remains the same, including the bank account or IFSC.
Nothing gets transferred. The home loan
Nothing gets
continues
transferred,
every day.
yeah. So
Sure.
from the same NRO account, now everything is happening. But the difference is now things are happening legally.
Would opening a new NRO account be the right way, or converting the same account on which home loan was taken the better way?
See, the easiest would be to convert the same account.
Okay.
Now, it also varies with respect to bank to bank.
Uh-huh.
Most of the banks who provide RM services for NRIs, it is easier. You can write an email to them or give them a call, and they will assist you with the conversion.
Okay. Sure.
If you go for a new bank account opening, then it will take time for the bank because they have to shift the e-mandate from one account to another account. Then it is a process.
Yeah. No, completely understood. Another question that keeps coming is that they keep continuing with their resident Demat accounts. Can they do it? Yes, no, and how can they manage? Because you and I both know that it's actually very, very complicated to open a new NRI Demat account. So, lot of NRIs keep doing it. Any thought on that?
So, see, opening a new Demat account as an NRI is a task. Okay. Because it definitely requires either your physical presence or attestation of documents, and the list of documents is also too lengthy. But the same time, it won't be right for an NRI to keep investing from the resident Demat account because there are legal obligations and there can be penalties if the IT department gets to know that the PAN is registered as an NRI and the investment is happening as a resident Indian. So it is a conflict in between two KYCs.
Sure.
Right? And not everyone gets caught, but 1 in 10th person.
Yeah,
One
but
in
but
10
whoever
NRI,
gets caught, it's 100%. So better be safe.
it's 100% and the penalty is too high.
Sure.
Right?
No,
It
so
can
what
be
would you
300%.
suggest then? What should they do? Like, what if they are coming back in 6 or 12 months?
So
Then what?
first thing is they have to stop making any investment from that account. Okay, so whatever has happened has happened. They should not do new investment. Correct. They should not float new money into the same Demat account. Sure. Secondly, whenever they visit India, they can just visit whatever broker they were using and they can try to get it converted. Okay. This is another thing. If you ask me the easiest way, I would say liquidate everything, whatever tax implications you have in India, pay it to the Indian government, start from scratch, open a new account. I know people used to open Demat account for stocks, but nowadays for NRIs, it is very difficult to manage a stock portfolio by themselves. Sure. They don't have time, they have a different time zone, etc. So it is suggested that they liquidate everything and they choose if the money is not greater than 50 lakh or 1 crore, then in that case, they go for the mutual fund route. If not, then there are options under PMS and AIF if the amount is greater than. If let's say an NRI is converting to a resident Indian in let's say a foreseeable 12-month future and he's still continuing with resident Demat account, would you still suggest to convert it into let's say an NRI Demat or just not put in more money and just come back and start doing it by resident? See, if you already are having a resident Demat account from which the investment was already done, and now your plans is to move back to India in let's say 6 to 12 months, I would not recommend that you do all the account conversions, etc., because it's a process, it's a task for you. And since the plan is to come back to India, and then again you have to repeat all the process, so I would say you can skip that part. But just to be on the safer side, do not make heavy fresh investment from the same account. Now, while a lot of NRIs are investing, let's say in fixed deposits or any of Indian financial instruments, they have this in mind that why are they, what will happen with taxes in India and their own country? Are they liable to pay double taxes? Like, what is it? What is all with this taxation, and how do we see it from that perspective? Okay. So every country they prefer to tax their resident. Absolutely. Now, if an investor is investing in India, then Indian government would also prefer if someone is making money from that country, then they would want their share. Sure. So now here, ideally, they are being taxed at both the countries, but India is having their collaboration agreement with 90 plus countries across the globe. Okay. So in this case, there is a law and agreement which is called DTAA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. So it allows a non-resident to invest in India, pay taxes in India, and then take the FTC, which is foreign tax credit, using which they can pay the taxes in their resident country, which shows that they have paid already taxes in India. So now if they do not have any further tax implication, then they don't need to pay any further taxes in that country. Okay. Right? But so they pay the difference. That's exactly what I was about to say. Sure. If India is taxing someone at 12.5% and their resident country is taxing them at 15%, then 2.5% is the difference which they have to pay in their country. Sure, fair. But when you say about DTAA and these double taxation systems, their typical seasons are different when they file taxes. So there are a lot of issues around that NRIs keep asking. How do we tackle that? So it's not actually an issue, Mudit. It is simple if we are passing the knowledge to the investors. Okay. Why I call it simple? It's straightforward. In India, the tax season it is from April to March. In other countries, in most of the countries, you will find from January to December. Okay. So what is the easiest for them is to file for an extension in their country. Okay. That we are also invested in global economy. So in that case, we will file first our income tax in India, and post that we will file our taxes. But that will also incur penalties for them because that no, it doesn't incur any penalty because the governments also know that resident of that country is also investing in other geographies where the tax laws are slightly different and the tax season is different. Sure. So in that case, they allow them. There is no penalty for it, and they should do it because that's the only way they can take advantage of DTW. Sure, makes sense. No, that brings me back. NRIs are Einstein. You know why they're Einstein? It's multi-country, multi-currency, and multi-tax scenario that they live with. So actually,
NRI is equal to MC square for me. So
Well
that's
said,
the
well said, yeah.
yeah. So NRIs are basically, so it's just too much currencies and too much tax laws and too much countries to deal with whenever they are living in their own country and they have to manage India. But of course, like if you have right systems and right knowledge and right product at place, I think it becomes a opportunity that you have multiple countries where you can have confidence on investing, basically.
Correct, correct. With you.
You mentioned about DTAA and how to take foreign tax credit FTC. But what is the process for this?
Simple, Mudit. It's just 4 steps. The first step is to file for an extension in your own country of residence.
Mhm.
So wherever you are, just do it. Second step is file your income tax returns in India.
Mhm.
Once you file income tax return, then the third step is there, which is gathering 10F and FTC, which is foreign tax credits. So whatever taxes you have paid, you get an FTC against it. Now,
Does the Indian tax guy gives it to you?
yes,
Okay.
your CA will
But
be
you
able
have to ask your
provide
CA for it,
correct.
right?
You have
Okay.
to ask.
Okay.
And finally, you have to, with the help of this FTC, now finally you have to pay your taxes in your country of residence. So
Okay.
you have to file your income tax. So
Okay.
just in these 4 steps, you can get it done and you can save a lot of money.
Sure. Okay. Now it takes me to the thought of, since you have been managing NRI money for long, um, there must be few strategies around how do you manage money, what are the different type of NRIs and how they think investing. So first of all, like something that comes to my mind organically is there are NRIs who want to come back, there are NRIs who are not sure of coming back, there are NRIs who don't want to come back. So I would categorize them like this. um, what's your general take on, let's say, while you are managing their portfolio, what's your general take on all the three categories when it comes to their building of portfolio?
Got it. So, like you rightly said, there are three sort of audience. So let's speak about them one by one. The first audience is who is very sure, those NRIs who want to come back to India in the coming years. So for them, the easiest would be do mutual funds, INR investment, because they have to come back to India. Then they are not worrying much about the depreciation part.
Okay, but why would they not worry? They would worry if depreciation up.
See, if someone is sure that they plan to come back in the next 2 years, 5 years, then they consider that fine, the depreciation is of 3%. But
Okay.
finally, we are having a greater return because it is all INR based investment. So the
Okay.
fee expenses are also lesser
Sure.
in that case.
Sure.
So they believe that whatever net returns they are making, that is fair
Okay.
for them in terms of calculations.
Okay.
The second audience base are those who are very sure that they are not coming back to India. So most of them are like OCIs or now they have obtained the citizenship. So for them, they prefer to have the money in liquid. So they don't have to go through a lot of process to do the conversion. For them, it makes more sense that they invest into a global currency or a USD based product or their own currency.
Okay.
So as of now, there are USD products in the market which are having mostly higher ticket size. So if they have appetite for a base of 150,000, that makes more sense. The investment is happening in India. The third audience set is the one who may or who may not become a resident Indian again. So for them, I would say a split in between INR based product and USD based product.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are more into retail products, like who can invest monthly basis, I would say simply do SIPs in INR.
Sure.
Those who have good chunk of money, it's better that they explore products under Gift City Fund, under USDs, or in INR they take exposure of PMS.
Sure. But why PMS? Why would you say PMSs?
That's why I say when they have a higher ticket size. So PMSs products like PMSs, AIF, they are built for HNIs,
Sure.
high net worth individual. So for them, the return expectations are higher.
Okay.
And if the return expectations are higher, then you cannot go for a retail product.
Right.
Then in that case, you require something which is built for you particularly.
But why would you suggest this to a person who are not sure of coming back, or are you suggesting it to people who are sure of coming back also? Because
So
you mentioned that
right.
Yeah.
So people who are also planning to come back to India and have a higher ticket size,
Yeah.
they can also take exposure into PMSs in India.
So with all these NRIs allocating, let's say 20%, 30%, or 50% of their overall portfolios into India, you know how much NRIs have invested in India till today?
So, Mudit, NRIs are wealthy.
Yeah.
You would be amazed to know, but NRIs themselves contribute 15 lakh crores in the Indian economy. 15 lakh crores.
Okay. What's the split?
10 lakh crores only is there as NRI deposits and savings.
Okay.
3 lakh crores stays in the Indian mutual fund.
Okay.
Close to 2 lakh crores is there in alternates and liquid like PMSs and AIFs. And that's not it. Every year they are adding more money in the Indian economy.
Sure. Oh, that's something really shocking to me.
It is.
Wow, like that's so shocking. But why do NRIs invest in India? Like that's so much money into India.
It is. It is. So there are two, three major reasons, if you ask Mudit. The first one is they prefer to stay connected with the roots. So when they go abroad, they invest in their country, but at the same time, they have a feeling to stay connected with the roots, and that's why they invest in India. That's one. It's like a heartly connection. The second reason is the growing economy. If you see, then there are 4 or 5 top economies, out of which India is the only one with a projected GDP growth of 7 to 8%.
Sure.
No country is standing like that.
Sure.
That's why.
So much money is being invested, and I would love to know that how do you plan an NRI portfolio today?
So, Mudit, in case of NRIs, we take care of a lot of parameters into consideration, like what is the age of the investor, what is their current portfolio look like, what is their Indian split, whether they are married or single, whether they have a liability like home loan in India or in their country of residence or not, right? What sort of risk appetite they hold, what is the investment period, right? And depending on that, we design a portfolio.
Sure. Okay. So all these factors that you consider, but I'm sure like there would be few categories of say mutual funds which are more preferred.
Yeah.
Across categories. I mean, could you name few and how do you arrive at that conclusion?
So, yeah, why not? So, Mudit, it's simple. If you want a portfolio where you do not need to put a lot of your time, put your money into flexi cap, one multi cap, one large cap.
Okay. And
That's it.
Why is this so?
So, flexi is something which has a flexibility depending on the market scenarios. They can change the portfolio. So, you as an investor, you are least bothered about checking your portfolio on a daily or weekly basis. I suggest check your portfolio, do it on a monthly basis. But in flexis, you don't have to put a lot of your brains.
Sure.
Similarly, in case of multi, they do not have the flexibility, but they are investing your money in all three caps, small, mid, and large.
Sure.
Right. Therefore, it becomes a balanced investment fund for you. And finally, a large cap because of the current Indian economics. US top 10 companies, they contribute to close to 70% of the market cap.
Absolutely.
Whereas India is far behind that
Sure.
in terms of the ratio.
Okay.
So therefore, it makes sense to have large cap in your portfolio. That's my suggestion. Now, someone with a horizon which is greater than 7, 8 years, they can add small caps also.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't just go through the number that this fund has returned, let's say 30%, therefore I'm investing in the same fund for the next 3 years. No. In small cap, the risk appetite is higher, the return expectation is higher. So the horizon also has to be high.
Sure. What are the top reasons that you have seen why NRIs invest in India? In terms of, is there any specific goals that they do it for, or it is just majorly returns?
There are three main. I'll speak about the most frequent one in the last one. So the first reason is buying a property in India.
Okay.
So if, like the audience base we spoke about, if they plan to move back to India,
Sure.
or they are unsure,
Sure.
they prefer to have a place where whenever they retire, they settle down in India.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
The second reason is education or marriage of their children. For that, nowadays it's very costlier. If it is happening in India, then it is too costlier. Education is no longer what it used to be in our era. So that's the second reason. And the core reason is planning of retirement. So an NRI, they prefer to retire and have a flow, a passive flow, a income to take care of their daily lives in India or in whatever countries they stay. So they have now one thing in their mind, which earlier no one was thinking about, which is called as SWP, Systematic Withdrawal Plan. So they want to create a good corpus with the help of compounding effect that usually, and the retail product for that is mutual fund. And then finally, they want to take advantage by taking small amount as a monthly withdrawal.
Sure. But question, right? I mean, you said children education is one, but why would you need to invest in India for that? Why are they not investing back wherever they are?
So it's not the case that they are not investing in their country.
Sure.
They are investing in their country also, but they are keeping a proportion.
Okay.
They are doing, like I mentioned earlier also, they are keeping a ratio of 40 to 60 if they plan to move back to India.
Yeah.
If they do not plan, or if they are uncertain, then
Yeah.
again there is a fraction which they are doing
Yeah,
it.
but children education in INR terms, how does that correlate, or it's just the mindset?
It is the mindset actually.
Sure.
So they have been doing it. They were earlier investing in India, and therefore they know that they can rely on the market because of the growth factor also. So
Sure.
why not grow their money at least some proportion here in India?
Okay, sure. So you said NRIs majorly buy for children marriage, retirement planning in India. I would love to know more about what is their thought about when they plan to retire in India. How do you create such portfolios? What factors do you consider? And
Right. So, when there is a certainty that they want to come to India or retire in India, in most of the cases, they require a money flow. Okay. So, the idea is to build a portfolio, enough corpus, depending on what their current requirements are, plus considering inflation into consideration, and then finally coming to a number where, let's say, the current monthly expense is 1 lakh. So after 30 years, the expenses are also going to increase because of inflation. So considering all these properties and attributes, we create and design a portfolio so that the required amount can be reached. Okay. And against that amount, instead of withdrawing that, we create SWP. So the
Sure.
portfolio keeps on growing,
Right.
and the person, the investor, is getting a steady money flow, which they can eventually increase also. If they have a higher investment horizon in number of years, then in that case, you can build a portfolio where it can never go down to zero.
Sure.
Even if you are withdrawing a 0.5%, 0.7% of your total portfolio on a monthly basis.
Sure.
This is the power of compounding.
Sure. Very well noted. So you also mentioned that one of the goals why they're investing is their uh, goal to buy a property in India. How does that correlate with their buying behavior of real estate in India?
See, no NRI is buying a real estate with a thought of investment.
Sure.
This is a sentimental buy, and they move abroad and became NRI, where this was one of the reasons that they have to buy a property in India.
Sure. Sure.
Right?
I understand. So
They
it's
are not
more of
expecting a return from it.
fulfillment of
Kind
what they
of.
had thought of when they left India at first.
Kind of fulfillment role here.
Sure. Understood. Yeah. Now, so we have discussed about various category of NRIs. Um, how do they think of various kind of investment scenarios when it comes to India? But what happens, let's say, when they have an existing investment in their resident country and they move back to India? How to think of such scenarios?
Okay. So actually, Mudit, it is simpler. Their KYC, whatever investment they made, was marked as non-resident Indian. Now they got converted to a resident Indian. So all they have to do is to convert their bank account to a resident savings account and update their KYC in the system.
Okay.
Now, with many apps or brokers, this can be difficult. We know that.
Okay.
With SBNRI, we have kept it very simple. Any NRI who is investing on our platform, they can easily shift back to a resident Indian title by getting the documents converted via SBNRI. Our
Sure.
team will take care of it.
Yeah, with all these scenarios now, there are a few documentation issues that we would love to have your opinion on. One is Aadhaar mandatory for NRIs for their citizenship update?
No, Mudit, not really. Aadhaar is not a mandatory document. However, with Aadhaar, your life is pretty easier in India.
Sure.
For almost all the documentation that you do.
Sure. But what, specifically for citizenship update, then if they don't have Aadhaar, what do they have to do?
It's not a mandatory. They can get it updated from the ITR portal also. If they know a good CA, they can the CA can get it done for on behalf of those investors.
Sure. This brings me to my last question of today, which is about TDS and the relation of TDS with NRIs.
Okay. So many of the NRIs, they are not even aware about the term TDS.
Sure.
TDS means tax deducted at source. So whenever someone is investing and redeeming, or the account is getting some interest income,
Sure.
so that is liable for TDS deduction.
Okay.
For example, bank is already deducting TDS. You
Right.
as an investor are not aware about it.
Sure.
So what you can do, you can go to the income tax portal, you can check 26AS, and you can file for 10F. Using this, you can file your income tax return.
Right.
If you are not liable, which means if your total income is less than 3 lakh rupees in that financial year, this whole money that was deducted, you have the opportunity to claim it back.
Sure.
By filing your income tax return.
Right.
So whenever you are selling something, ensure you are filing your income tax returns also, so that whatever TDS got deducted, you can claim it back.
Sure. Thank you, Sushit, for lot of questions that are being answered today. We will keep doing this. Thank you.